Hello, this is Backup Chargers again with another video today. I am Faceless Menace, with me is KBDestro.
Hello, how's it going?
So today had a pretty big second anniversary stream, and on it there was a lot of information. Today we're going to be talking about the new spoilers that just got released. We're just going to be going in order that they were spoiled, which happens to be in element order from lowest to highest rarity. So it'll be a good chance to see everything. Uh, we're just gonna get started here. We're just gonna have our first impressions, thoughts on it. I'll start off with Baby Silver Slime. This is the replacement of Baby Gray. It is a 2-cost 1/1 tamer animal slime. As long as you control another slime ally, it has taunt, and it has on death, you may reveal a slime from your hand or memory if you do draw a card. This does not natively have intercept like Baby Gray, so you do have to play other cards with it, so it's not just a free intercept like it is for the other version. And instead of an on enter, it's an on death, which means you can't use any kind of suppress shenanigans to get extra value. This is effectively a slightly better library witch if you are in slimes. That is all it is, which is pretty good. I like it for fire. I was already playing fire slimes before. This at least makes the deck playable again. Um, it doesn't help Byaku get any any better at all, which makes me a little sad. But other than that, I think the card's fine. I think it's good to finally have slimes be viable again, even if KBDestro here doesn't like it.
Yes, I absolutely despise slimes, but I do think this is a really good effective reprint of the card to make a lower power variant. Or not lower power, more locked variant, because this definitely fixes some of the problems that Vanitas was going around abusing, Convene was going around abusing. Like, now that it's just in slimes, it has a much better place.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing is I wasn't sure how they would do the more restricted version, but making it have taunt and but only if you actually have another slime um, makes it a lot more. You have to actually build around it. You can't just hope you have baby green and slime shield, I suppose, and have that be your only package. It just doesn't work that way now, which I think is a good thing. And
I
yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it.
I think they really accomplished what they were going for with this card. So it's good reprint.
Yeah,
Very solid.
Wind Slime's still a little sad with it, but whatever. You want to do the next one?
Yep. Okay. Next card is Vanguards Reversal. It is a 5-cost normal Guardian Sword attack. It has class bonus as long as your champion has taunt. This costs 3 less to activate and is a 5 attack card. So, my first thoughts, this is really good in an aggro variant, but does not help the later game strategy of Tenoris or Guardian in general. So, it's more so just that top end damage you'll need when you go to Tenoris if you aren't playing the allies matchup because you won't because taunt specifies you must be awake, so attacking with it but you don't have taunt you won't be able to take that damage for your allies.
I didn't think about that part of you also basically lose the taunt out of it. Um, I actually don't like this card at all. I find it. I think you are correct where it is really nice if you are trying to go aggro specifically. But in my eyes, this is you have one turn of this being an above rate attack card in a deck that already has a lot of big damage attack cards. And if you don't find it on, when you're trying to go level 1 and then hit with this for as a 2-cost attack, you're paying 5 for a 5-cost attack. And we already have so many giant attacks in Tony. This is another card that doesn't really do anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, it has no real place in Fire Snorris right now just because Heat Advenge is such a powerful card, as well as the shield one, the Blazing Charge, I believe it is. Um, but in more of a wind allies or water allies, I could definitely see this being a two of in place of Heavy Swing, because Heavy Swing's is a really good playset in the deck, but you're only really losing one damage for one cost. In the end of it, it's just you can play this alongside an ally on the turn you level. So it's really good burst. So, but I don't see you playing a full playset.
I suppose that's true in that. We have Heavy Swing. If you need something a little bit cheaper, you can play Savage Smash to at least have it float. You already
Hmm.
said the other attack cards with it. I mean, I just feel like there's so many other things to do.
Yeah, it's mm,
It'll probably have use. You're probably correct. Having that as a one or two of in an allies list probably isn't bad for those games you do find it, but it's not exciting. Which I guess is fine. Cards don't need to be exciting; they just need to be playable. This
yeah,
is probably at least playable.
mm, yeah, pretty good card. Okay,
Let's see here. Up next, we'll have you do this one. You're more you like this card more than I do.
I am the Arizona guy. Okay, the next card is Tend the Land. It is a 3-cost normal cleric skill action. It has class bonus fast activation, and it gathers and draws a card. So naturally it's slow speed, and it gets fast activation once you hit level 1 cleric or gain the class bonus in some way. I think this card's pretty good. Just it's a good replacement for the barter herbs that some decks don't really want to be using. Fire still loves barter herbs because float, but this is a really good next best thing for things like water and wind.
I do think you're right about water. I don't want to play water herbs in my negate Arizona list, but I also think there's already you already said barter herbs. This does gather, which is I guess we do kind of need a little bit more cards that can just generically gather, but it just feels so bad when the deck already runs so many cards that go neutral. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's I believe there's one current water RA list that has shown competitive play, and that's the negate RA Sonic. This doesn't really fit in there, but I'm hoping this can give room for a different type of water RA Sonic that more so focuses around the star calling and spamming out cosmic bolts that wind kind of does right now. It's just hard to say because wind has a lot better herb generation at the moment through one card, so
Yeah,
it's very
um, I
difficult.
I kind of have the same problem with this card as I do the Vanguards Reversal, where it's another card in a similar slot as three or four other cards. It's not something the archetype really needed. It's extra variety, and that's about it for me.
Yeah, it's generic good card, but not outstanding.
Yeah. Up next, another card that I'm going to be down on. This is a trend so far for the low rarity. I promise I'm very hype about some of these cards. Shield Fragmentation. This is a 2-cost fast activation guardian skill in fire, which is interesting. As an additional cost to activate it, you sacrifice a shield, and it does 4 damage to target unit. So what this is a 1 cost more, but fast speed blazing throw for shields. Um, on its own in a vacuum, this card looks good. 2 costs instead of 1, and having to sack a material deck card is fine. Fast speed is very good with that. If Blazing Throw is fast speed, it would be much better than it is, and it's already very playable. However, Blazing Throw is also good because you're swinging in with a sword, leaving it on 1 durability, and then getting extra damage on that same turn. Shield Fragmentation has to use shields. And there are no good shields in Fire Norm at all. Um, in my opinion, there's only one good shield, and that's Vapor Jet Shield. Everything else is you're playing it because you have shield synergies, and that's it. I can't think of any reason why you would want to be playing any shields actively, which I think is going to be a problem for this card until we get more playable shields. once we do, I think the card's gonna be good. But right now, in a vacuum, I mean, what are we doing? Blast Shield?
Yeah, right now shields don't give enough of a payoff as weapons do and don't have enough synergy. If we got some main deck shields, that like gave you some extra damage, I could see it somewhat being played, just not on the level of Blazing Throw because this is a very weird top end to have.
Yeah, because the only shields that we're really seeing any kind of play with Tony, which I guess we're not specifically having to talk about Tony. This is not a class bonus card, um, but all the useful shields are Guardian class bonus. So, for example, Blast Shield is actually kind of useful. Um, Being able to throw away the Blast Shield is kind of cool because it is a zero cost shield that just is an ally link, gives +2 attack, but with the downside of dealing 2 to your champion at your recollection. So being able to swing in and then throw it for extra damage seems at least okay. Prototype Shield was seeing a little bit of play with Tony as a way to make the cleave not kill yourself into a board full of allies. Um, that's pretty much it. I guess Dawn is trash. There's nothing really. There's no good shields.
Yeah,
That's just
no,
my straight
definitely
up
not.
opinion. I don't think there's a single good shield other than Vapor Jet, and you can't throw the Vapor Jet unless you're, I guess, Fire Nico.
Yeah, don't knock it till you try it.
I
But
guess.
no, I don't think this will ever see play on the level of Blazing Throw. Just there's
No.
no tempo in playing a shield.
The
Lorraine has so much tempo.
the moment we get a good shield, this card will see play.
Or Tenor's
But
level one.
yeah, again, give me a good shield, we'll talk about it.
Dang,
I guess I'm
okay.
giving you the other good card here. You want to talk about Scathing Seminary?
Okay, yes. Scathing Seminary, a 2-cost fire cleric human ally. It is a 2/1 base stat line and has class bonus, balance on enter as a spell if the amount of cards in your hand and memory are equal, deal 2 unpreventable target unit. So
So,
for this card, when I first saw it, I just I don't know. You think it sounds really good at first because unpreventable, 2 damage, a 2/1, so you're dealing 4 damage for a 2 cost. But it's just so hard to get the full utilization of, in my opinion. It doesn't really. It's it's locked to clerics, which is in generally a very hard class to use this with, in my opinion.
so this is funny. So, just so the audience knows, me and KBDestro here watched the stream completely separately, and this is our first time hearing each other's opinions on these cards, actually. So, I'm of the opposite opinion. I think Seminary is very good specifically for Diao because they're already playing the Fire Bloom Flourishes, which put them up to 5 exactly. As long as they're playing around it, so they'll be at most 5, and then draw for turn will put them up to 6, which is a little awkward. But if they specifically go down to however many it takes to get down back up to 5, it's pretty easy to play this and then a Rococo and get a lot of extra damage. I think the card is actually pretty playable. I think it has a slot in that deck. I don't know if it's. I don't think
I
it's going to
think,
be a game changer that's going to put it top of meta. But I
yeah,
think it's another tool that it has access to.
it's a decent replacement for Ashwick Cremator, but
Yeah, I don't like Ashwick.
yeah. Right now, I just don't think Fire Dalchan's in a solid enough place in meta to for this card to really thrust it into meta or anything.
There's
I
just
just
too
don't
much
think
Fantasia hate, honestly.
I wouldn't say that particular. I just think there's too much water. Playing low to the
Yeah,
ground is already pretty bad in this format, and
well,
a deck that like thrives off playing low to the ground, you're just getting punished, and you're not getting the value you wanted.
I think specifically, it's not even quite the water issue for that. I just think this card. So, my train of thought with it is the card is very good if there's less Fantasia hate because this is a card that is only going to be good if your Firebloom Flourishes can stick around. If they get, you know, Scatter Essence, etc., then you just can't consistently get that on enter balance, and it's going to be a whole lot harder to do anything on your turn. And these are just going to be a 2 cost
Yeah.
2/1, which is still fine. It's, 2 costs for 2 damage, whatever. Um, but it's really not what you want to be doing.
Yeah, there you can balance on other things other than five influence as well. It's just it becomes so much harder because a two cost is so much harder than math than a three cost in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are still used to, Gildus and Lunette balancing on a 3 costs, and they think that's the only thing that's easy for balance. But we'll see where this goes. I think there's enough. Funny enough, I think there are enough 2 costs in Dao-Chan, plus the fact that they have access to Incendiary Fractal and Fractal Sparks in order to
Fractals do
actually.
make this easier.
It makes it a lot easier. So I think there is a world where this can come out significantly easier. I just don't know if you're going through all that, if it's the best thing to do. But it's another tool to experiment with. I'm excited to see Dao-Chan do, something other than its exact 60 card pile it's been doing.
Yeah.
um, I have laid claim to every Neos card, so I'm going to go to the next
Yep.
one.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Neos man.
I I am a Neos appreciator. I do not appreciate this card,
Oh no, it
Radiant
sucks.
Repudiation. I hate this card so much. This is not a card that we needed at all. We did not need the third way to prevent damage to something. So it is a 2 cost Neos action, Guardian skill reaction. At least it didn't make it a spell for whatever, get it null spelled. But prevent the next 4 that would be dealt to a Neos element unit this turn, and whenever damage is prevented this way, deal 2 to target unit. So, in theory, you could hit multiple damage instances like a Searing Rebuke. However, why are you doing that at that late of a game plan? Um,
Yeah. It's
this
Searing
card,
Rebuke but locked.
yeah, it's Searing Rebuke, but you can't do it on turn 1 or 2. You have to wait until you're already Neos, which is just so difficult right now. Your Neos is almost unplayable. I'm determined to change that. But
So am
it's
I.
so hard. There's so little reason to do. I don't accept your Neos. You have not earned that title.
Oh.
um, I do think this card unironically gets a little bit better with the last Neos card spoiled today. But it's I don't like it. We did not need a third way to protect our things as an action on top of the other ways. We have so many other better ways to do it. Uh,
Yeah,
that's
the only
that's that's my rant on that one.
yeah. Only thing I see is that I can't clear it your ally to ignore this. But because I believe Clarent against a Searing Rebuke with Clarent, I can Clarent my own face, and you have to target your own a different. I think your own champion. Because I let me go reread Searing Rebuke, make sure. But yeah. So it Clarent essentially fizzles Searing Rebuke because you can't target my champion, but you can't target your own champion.
What do you mean? Cleric doesn't give spell shot.
Oh, my bad. I forgot his spell shot to the
It
sword.
gives itself.
It is late at night, guys. Next card, next card.
Yep.
Stop talking
Next
about
card.
trash.
Next one is this is a new kind of attack.
I love it.
You're Mr. Automaton over here. You get this one.
Hey, Eternal Directive, a two-cost wind attack warrior automaton command. And it has command automaton, which is a brand new keyword where it allows an automaton ally you can control to perform that attack. So essentially, it
These are
has to
attack
be
cards that only allies can use.
that only automaton allies could use. Very niche.
Yeah.
But it is a 3 attack, 2 cost, so it's above rate, and it has on attack put a buff counter on the attacker. So with a Shimmer Cloak, your Shimmer Cloak is swinging for 6 on turn 2, and it becomes a 3/3, so it's even harder to remove. It's this is super good in my opinion.
So
Like,
I I'm on the opposite. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, I can 2-for-1 your Shimmer Cloak with my reprogram now.
yes, but we also there's another card that helps with that later.
It does. It does.
and
So
and Clarent does help with that as well.
I don't have an opinion on Eternal Directive, if I'm being honest. I think the card's fine. I more so have a general opinion about commands and where I think they're going to be going. Where because there's that blowout potential, where if you play this and the opponent just kills the ally, and you're down 2 cards. They really need to push what they can do, because otherwise, why are you playing cards that just say you lose to interaction? Um,
Yeah, definitely.
so I think the moment we see a really good one, it's going to be busted. So they're going to be eventually trying to push some commands in a way that is going to be interesting. I guarantee, this is me calling a shot, we will eventually see a command being on the ban list.
I can't wait for my command to balance my Gildas to swing for 10.
Oh my god.
Imagine the command with balance. That'd be crazy.
No.
I'm calling it. We're gonna have a 10 swinging Gildas with a command one day.
There is going to be some kind of crazy command. I think they're an interesting way for the game to go with the fact that they have attack cards.
I think it's
I
really
like that
cool.
they exist. I Again, I don't really have an opinion on Eternal Directive. I think the card's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's another
Very
tool.
cool. Yes.
Um, this card was already spoiled, but is interesting to talk about. So
Funny.
Dorumegian Foundry. There's one use case for this card, and it's so bad. So it is an 8 cost domain. Guardian Factory. Factory is a new subtype for these cards, which is going to be interesting. I believe it is. I'll have to double check. Do you
Okay.
know if the... Yeah, double check for me, because I think actually the level 3 Tony might be Factory for the domain tokens. But this card costs 2 less to activate for each of up to 3 domains you control. So what this
Nope,
means
brand
is
new.
even though... Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, so this costs 8 normally. If you have 1 domain, it costs 6. If you have 2 domains out, it costs 4. If you have 3 or more domains, it's going to cost 2, and it will never cost less than 2 from its own effect. Um, I did say from its own effect, you can in fact still reduce it by 1 with what was that card, Kyle?
It is a map of some sort. One
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Pulling up
But
these cards in live time. Wayfinder's map.
yep, that's the
Domain
one.
cards you activate cost 1 less.
And then the actual effect on it doesn't matter. On enter, you get a drone with a buff counter.
It's rated at a 2. Yeah, if you play it as a
It
2 drop, it
technically
is
is.
technically at rate,
It
which is
technically is.
good, but it's
Um,
late for the
it
rate that it's giving.
Yeah, because you'd have to have 3 domains out already, which is a lot harder said than done, unless you're already playing like EK or something. Um,
I will
Now,
say,
don't.
Smash with Foundry.
Yep, there it is. Smash with Obelisk does in fact make this card hit for 14.
And it's
So,
still not enough damage to be that effective in the game meta, in the game state, at that late into the game.
I think it's fine. I think it's another tool, so it might actually see some play depending on if you're able to actually go late or not. Because if you can go late, then you just have
Hmm.
the level 3 Tony. You'll get up to your 3 domains. If you can play this and the Smash on the same turn, you are living in magical Christmas land and you deserve the win.
Yeah, your Disneyland testing team must be crazy.
Exactly. I think it's cool.
I
That's about all I'll say about it. It's another. We need more domains, so I'm not going to complain too much. But this card feels kind of. It just feels really gimmicky, if I'm being honest. Give me something that cares about factory support, and maybe we'll talk. But that's about all I can say about it.
yeah, it's
Uh,
very late.
yeah. Uh, another command
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, Charge Directive, a 2 cost norm attack warrior automaton command. So another command automaton, which is quite nice, but this one has a more niche play style. So it's a 2 attack. So it has 2 power, and as on attack, summon a power cell token rested, so you can't use it that turn, sadly. And then each opponent banishes X cards from their graveyard, where X of them out power cells you control. I read this as a Guardian card over a Warrior card, but it's very niche and will probably not see play in the current meta. Power cells take to get a good amount of power cells takes quite a bit, but
So I sort of agree with you. However, if you can do this, because you can do the nice thing about the commands is you can play more than one a turn, unlike the normal attacks. So you
yeah,
could effectively do two in one turn, and that doesn't seem like a bad play, especially if you already had one power cell from a backup charger. Name drop. So then
yeah,
you'd be banishing 5 cards from the opponent's grave, which is a pretty good little tempo swing into Genbu and such.
yeah, definitely good, and it does do about 4, essentially 4 damage, just 2 delayed. So, but I
Yeah,
think
because you can use those
again,
power cells later.
another problem, it is on attack, so that you had to actually get the swing through without your automaton dying.
Yeah,
And
that's the
if
other
you
thing
want to,
too. Because
if you want to,
if you activate this
yeah.
card and they kill the automaton in response to the card being activated, then you just don't get the on attack.
Yeah, so you're losing a lot of value that way. As well as you to play multiple of these, you do have to have several automatons. So it's
Now,
weird.
an interesting thing is because we don't have the rules for how commands work just yet. By the way, we just have what's written on the card. Um, Command just says an automaton ally you control performs this attack. So what I read that is that you don't declare um, the
So
attacker until the card resolves.
it was confirmed on oh, I guess that I guess I'll say and. So that is weird. The flip that text is weird. Sorry, I thought you were going with the line of you don't have to rest, but that would be it would definitely be weird if you didn't have to.
No, no, no.
Though I
Being the fact that you can choose the automaton upon resolution makes this a little bit better because that way, if you do have two allies, your opponent has to remove both. So I think this
yeah,
card is that makes commands a little bit better. It's not
that
quite
would
a
be really
strict
good.
2-for-1 all the time.
This could be actually pretty decent to win domains to Norse because you have the wind. You have we just
Yeah,
need
the
one more
Winbless
good wind
Hurricane farm.
domain. Windbless Hurricane Farm. You get a bunch of power cells. You play Dorumegian Foundry to get an automaton drone token with a buff. You play this. Now you're swinging for 4,
or
and you're getting rid of a bunch of cards.
or you can play a good automaton like Rose.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Let's not get
I
too ahead
know,
of
crazy.
ourselves. Okay.
Um, oh, I'm not allowed to. You have to be the one for this card. Go ahead.
Yes, she's back. Winbless Lookout is the effective reprint of Kurhazi Outlook. It's amazing.
It's
Two
almost like they
cost.
just flipped the look and the out.
Oh my god. So, 2 cost Wind Ally Assassin Human is a 1/3, same stat line as on enter put a prep counter on your champion. But it also has now a different text box of class bonus on enter glimpse 1. So I still get
It's
to stack my deck. Let's go.
yeah. Isn't this literally just the Korhazi outlook, except instead of being able to pay the prep, you just get the on enter glimpse?
Yes, but you also don't stop your opponent from doing things. But I think
No,
this
no, no.
card's really, really
Yeah,
good.
no. I know it doesn't have that part.
Thankfully. Wait, no, unthankfully. I love this card. I think it's going to be amazing. Tristan is already really powerful. This slot's right in there
You
as an
don't
ally that's able to do things. The only issue is Staggering Strike is running around.
you
But
don't have to play black market broker anymore.
whoa, no. Black Market Broker is insane still, in
You
my
don't
opinion.
have to, I should say. You do finally have stuff that costs less.
Yes, definitely. Very good reclaim target as well, since it has double on entries. You're getting so much value out of one
Oh, you
reclaim.
right. That's actually really good.
This is
Yeah, that's
insane
solid.
value for Tristan, and definitely
Maybe
brings back life to the Wind ally Xander, that more
there's an
aggro
argument
version.
Yeah, there's an argument even to use a Zephyr on this every once in a while. Obviously
Hear
not
me out.
ideal,
We
but
get
if
a Byaku somehow. Go into
oh my god,
we go into old Tristan 2 in response to materialization, Byaku this, and we just get a free prep.
but like you
So
can
what
do
if
that
we lose
without
all of
going
our
into.
tempo?
You can do that without going into Tristan.
But we don't get
Wait,
the
but hold
glimpse.
on. We can run slice and dice Byaku here. You also still wouldn't get the glimpse because you'd still be in response to the materialization. You know that,
But
right?
you suppress it. So at the end of
Oh, I
turn
see what you
after
mean.
materialization. Man, and you're the Byaku guy.
I was
Jeez.
thinking I was thinking displace for some reason. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, but really good, really good. I love this card.
It's good that it exists. This is a much healthier version of Outlook. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan playing into Tristan, but that's mostly because I don't like Shadow Reaver. This is a healthy thing for the deck.
Good.
Um, Armed and dangerous. Polcock got the big guns again.
One
Um,
armed push up.
yeah, this card's
Or a
fine.
farming for real, for real.
It's a 3 cost slow speed ranger skill. Draw a card for each of up to 2 gun weapons you control. It's an important thing
So
for the deck to have. It's not what the deck
I
needed, but it's fine. It
oh
gives
no,
a +1.
I think this is absolute garbage. There's a much better card released here.
There is,
No,
but
not
it's
really. The card still sucks, but
okay.
both of
So
them are
it's
bad. It's
important.
just this one loses a lot more tempo in my opinion.
It loses tempo, but you don't. The deck needs some way to not have to play into tempo. So I'm glad it exists. Um, it's a +1 in a deck that currently the only build is aggro. So it's not good with that right now, but hopefully this means we're going to be having some kind of slower build. I don't, ironically, I don't think we're going to be getting that in DTR because I'm pretty certain the new Diana is going to be focused on bows and arrows. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see, maybe next year this card sees play. Get your foils
Next
while you can, I guess.
next year.
Next
Hey,
year.
it's some cool art. He's aura farming us.
He is, get your foils, I guess. Oh, you want to talk about the next bad card?
I think this is pretty good actually. So Regal Expulsion, a water 2 cost action cleric spell reaction. So it can be played from memory with Yachan. Negate target card activation that if that card was activated from a material deck. So
Real,
I'm gonna go
real
over my
quick.
explanation.
So,
Yeah.
real quick though, let's just tell the audience no, you can't negate a materialization. There's going to be a difference explained. You cannot negate a GCR being materialized, for example, or a normal level up. It doesn't work that way.
Or the card that comes underneath the QSG. That is still a materialization. It's still
Correct.
playing, not activating.
Correct. Go ahead with your explanation on that. I just want to give that quick disclaimer so no one gets, oh, this card is crazy.
I think this card is pretty good. It's just not meant to be played at super high rates. More so, it's there to act as something to scare the other player. And we now have more ways of dealing with these activations from material deck like Polaris. We have Shadow's Claw. That's a huge hit. Get what? There was another one. There was hitting the Vanitas 3. If you ban and negating a card puts it into the graveyard or banishment, but now you're negating something from material deck, so now it will go to banishment automatically, meaning that they lose access to their level 3 if they try to do the scepter shenanigans with Vanitas. So it is very good in my opinion. A very good deterrent, whichever one of
So
those words works for the scenario.
I'm in the opposite. I think this card is so niche that it's going to see so little play it won't even act as a deterrent. Because you can already frostbind those activations. You can already astral seal those. I mean, there's so many other just regular negates. If you're on fractals, you can glimmering refusal it.
True.
Um, this is a hard negate. They don't get the choice to pay, which can matter. But at the same time, are you going to dedicate a card in your hand that will only matter into specific decks and only at one specific turn in the game? You mentioned Vanny. It does work pretty well into most assassin lists because of cards like Mercenary's Blade, Verucan Soul Knife, Shadow's Claw, etc.
Mhm.
But that's kind of it. It's when they get the weapon, and you can already do things about the weapons. Um, I think the card is
True.
fine. Like you said, it might act as a deterrent, but I personally think it's just too niche to do anything, even as a deterrent.
Yeah, I do. It does really fix up the Arisana matchups, in my opinion. Definitely. Even lots of decks just use it as a forward wipe for their opponents, not even forward costable. It's more so as like a tempo change. So
Yeah,
basically, denying that type of tempo change could be really good. Also, a lot of these activated cards can be played with a full hand. So having something that hard negates it and doesn't, and they can't just pay two is
that's
really
fair.
nice.
I think the only this card has one deck that probably wants it, and it's not Fractals. It's not Daochan at all. I think it's just straight up Water Allies
Yeah.
because of only the Polaris situation, and then they really want to negate the Polaris, so they happen to have two, maybe three copies inside, and we'll see a little bit of play in those matchups. Like I said, into most assassin lists, other than Luxem, um, just to have something to deal with it. That's about all I can think that they might want this for.
Yeah, definitely. Still good
Um,
card. Niche, though.
it's fine.
You're right, it's very niche.
Uh,
Okay.
let's go with the other Neos card, or one of the other Neos cards. There's more Neos cards than expected. Throne Sentinel. This is another card that was also spoiled. It was a few days ago, I believe, as of time of recording. So this is a 2-cost Neos ally, Guardian Automaton. It is a 0/4 with Hindered and Taunt, so it will enter rested. On enter, your token allies you control get +1 attacked on the turn. If you control 3 or more tokens, you wake it up. And it has pay 2, rest it, your champion gains Spell Shroud till end of turn. This card's playable. Um, that's about the strongest opinion I have. I think it slots nicely into a deck that looks like it will exist soon, which is going to be Neo Soup and running all the Ares cards. Um, which I'm very upset we did not get more Atmos Shield generation because would have helped a little bit. This is kind of up there. I think it's fine. Again, you have to have some setup, so if you don't have the tokens, this card's a lot worse. But if you do get to wake it up, this card is actually pretty solid. Once you hit level 3, getting that Spell Shroud repeatably, um, being able to just act as a taunt for your Atmos Shields to then redirect from your non Neos cards is interesting. Because the Throne Sentinel will have to be an attack target, even if you have, Library Witch or some other normal ally, Lurking Assailant, etc. out. Um, then you can redirect from the Throne Sentinel to an Atmos Shield, which is an interesting synergy. Um, it does things, which is more than I can say for a lot of Neos cards. So I like it.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best. Like,
No,
it's not preferable for me to be playing this card, in my opinion, because I could always just play Provoke Obstinance and protect my entire board instead of just my champion for, like, the Spell Shroud side of it. It's I find it to be really niche and too late, in my opinion.
I
Like,
mean all Neos cards can be too late at that point.
yeah, once you have three token allies can that this can wake up with,
Oh,
you're
so here's the
probably
thing.
in the
It
driver's seat.
it just needs to wake up with 3 tokens, not token allies, which is a little
Uh,
bit better.
oh, okay, yeah,
It buffs your
but
token allies.
you're right. So the power cell does help from the
The
backup
power
charter.
cell and then the domain tokens work. So it's a lot
Yes.
easier to wake
Okay.
it up than you probably think it is.
Yeah. I just I just don't really like it, and to be like playing this is such a tempo loss in my opinion. Though I talk
Yeah,
about tempo too much, to be honest. I
I
care
I
about it
wish it
way too
had
much.
at least 1 point of attack. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Being a
Too much.
1/4 would have been a little bit more playable,
I
but
mean, too
zero
much
four is just a
going
little hard.
too much going against it when advanced element's supposed to be your huge payoff.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ari Enjoyer, you got the next one?
Bro, it's the best of both worlds. I get my assassin and my cleric in my Arisana element. It's amazing. Moonveil Android, 2 cost Astra. Very late into the game, sadly. But it's an ally assassin cleric automaton
This
with
thing's
class
unkillable.
bonus. Whenever you glimpse, it gains stealth till end of turn. And then class bonus, where if you negate a card activation your opponent controls, put 2 buff counters on Moonveil Android. I am very happy they specified opponent controls so I cannot spam. I would
You,
100%
you can't horn a
one.
counter your own cards.
I can't I can't hoard a counter my own cards or something because I would 100% be the guy doing that and just murdering people. I think this is very fun. A very
I think the
fun
card's
card to
good.
play with. I could give the fun thing I think you can do with this is Claude gives it taunt. And then in response to them
Oh my
swinging
god, you're
an
right.
attack
Claude.
into it, you glimpse, so it gains stealth, fizzling the attack. And it's so. And I think that's gonna be so fun. I think
So
we're actually getting enough resources for this, but it's.
there might legitimately be finally an Astra allies list possible with this thing.
I think it's
I
gonna
love
be
this
so
card.
fun. I
This
love it
thing is
too.
honestly, this thing feels unkillable because you're already trying to negate everything anyway, and then having like gaining stealth so they can't even swing in with it, and you just negate if they try to kill it and make it bigger to just keep acting as a beatdown. Because here's the thing, I think that this card slots in nicely even to regular RE builds because all of a sudden you have another card that can just keep going in for damage turn after turn after turn.
It's a lunar conduit, but you don't have to pay for it every turn, in my opinion. It's so nice,
It's
and you don't
very
have to
good.
waste materialization on it. I think it's a really good slot in for an Arisana deck. Really
It
fun to
is.
play around. And it's just
Yeah,
a
actually,
fun card.
that's a really good point. It's a main deck lunar conduit. I That's a great explanation for it. And being an Astra card means it can't get damaged by the Comet Fall, which is huge.
Yeah, it's just a really fun card to play around. Even if it's not going to end up being the like amazing card we're saying up to be, it's just
I
super
mean,
fun.
hell, I still have my like 8 copies of Claude. I can finally use a deck with Claude.
Same. I have so many claw. I have several claws.
That's gonna be great.
Amazing.
Oh, it looks like I get to talk about probably the most impactful card that's gonna get released.
This card's so good.
So we're talking about Decompose. It is a 2 cost fast speed cleric skill. As an additional cost to activate this, sacrifice an ally, gather X times, where X is the sacked ally's life stat. So, the gathering a bunch of times is very good. Even
Yeah,
better is the fact that you get to fast speed sacrifice an ally in norm. Um, this is actually really huge. So,
having 0 class bonuses as well, just really good in general, and as well
yeah.
as in
So,
Arisana specifically, this just gasses you so fast.
yeah, and
So
Arisana
hear
is
me out.
actually absurd.
You make a really big Moonveil Android, and then you just sack it for a ton of herbs, and then you have infinite Hornet counter.
So I'm gonna, yeah, that'll work. But here's something you're gonna be upset with me about. Very upset.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going to
it's a new
use
upset.
your. No, no, no. I mean, sure, but no. This is a slime card. This is unfortunately for you a slime card because all of
Oh,
a
I
sudden
hate it.
slimes. Because remember the. Uh, one of the main benefits to water slimes was the fact that you had access to a fast speed primordial ritual, so your opponent couldn't stifling trap, and it
You are
still
so
gave
right.
you cards engrave. And you could sack things after you've already used them if you need to. This does that, but you don't even need to hit uh, any kind of element requirement. You can just put this directly into fire slimes and have multiple ways to sack your slimes, put them into grave, get off your guy's blessing, etc. And then 2 of the 6, so a third of the herbs are just recover. So this gives slimes a way to recover as well before they even hit level 3 if needed, in response to them trying to kill one of your slimes. You just
Very good.
get extra life sometimes out of it. You also get to cycle. Putting cards down and grabbing things is good. And even better, this says that Dusklight Communion no
I
longer
was
matters
just
because you can
about
get
to
plus
say
one
that.
level.
It,
This
yeah, I
card
know. It's
actually
so
it
gas.
solves. Weirdly enough, this card solves so many problems for slimes.
I think
I do not understand.
this might be one of the best cards coming out in this altar, just because it slots into so many different decks.
It's so good
It
in everything. I mean, every deck needs to look
so
and
good.
see if they might want to use Decompose because it has so many uses.
Yeah, Neos is super fun. Like with the creations Will to Norris, that's gonna be
Oh my
hella
god.
super fun to just play this with, because you can make something really big, sack it, give it a just give it a bunch of herbs, and now all of a sudden you have 23 swords that you're gonna do that your opponent has to deal with.
I mean, yeah, that's the
So
fun
fun.
use, but like competitively, even, I mean, Fractals doesn't want this because they don't have enough allies, but pretty much every other ally deck could find a use for it, I think. I mean, even just your opponent
Allies
wasting a removal card.
Arisana is so gonna be so gas because now your Polaris is like guaranteed to clear any Syr. This is a Siryu killer. Oh fuck.
Oh god.
My
Um,
Polaris is gonna kill that dragon.
so we need to stop talking about this card because we have a lot to say about it. We might have to do our own separate video on interactions if that's something that
Yeah.
needs to be. But this is probably best card in the set,
I also
honestly.
really like the art. Geldis
I know, Rip
effing
Gildus.
Geldis effing dies. I love it, but I want to hear the lore implications for this. This
I
sounds
don't.
fun.
uh, go ahead. Show
Yeah,
me what makes
good.
your deck unkillable.
Counter interference, 2 cost norm. It is an action cleric automaton skill reaction. Co- Diao
That's a
Chan
mouthful.
Diao Chan can cast this from memory. I
Uh,
will play cleric automatons.
Dao-Chan is spell reactions, not skill
Never
reactions.
mind, never mind. I'm a bad player. I should quit. Okay, anyway, negate target trigger or activate action card activation that targets an automaton ally you control. Then you may sacrifice a power cell if you do draw a card. So
That last part
it's
makes this actually good.
so you can negate your opponent's like Song of Frost or something.
No.
I don't know. Sorry, not Song of Frost. You can negate your opponent's stifling shot. Anything that targets your guy, you negate that, and it's a replacement effect in your deck. Or if you're playing against automatons, you get to negate their second wind
Oh my
and
god, I
sack
didn't think
your
about that.
and your power
No, it's
cell now draws
It's
your card.
automaton you control. Reread the card, my guy.
Dang, dang! I was
You can
gassing it
tell how
up.
excited you can tell how excited he is. This card is
Again,
very
just
good though. It gives protection for robots, which they really needed. Honestly, they don't really have
no.
any good ways to protect stuff. Um,
The only way I can think of is the new Clarin. Why is
yeah.
automatons getting so much support? It's insane.
So
I love it.
it kind of is, but so the other part that I think is more relevant here is the sack of power cell to draw a card. You're missing out in damage in a deck that wants those power cells for damage, but the upside on it is pretty huge because if you negate something with this card, that's a 1 for 1. But then sacking a power cell to then make the card itself go neutral on top of a negate is massive tempo.
I think this creates a really good slot for Windbless Hurricane for him because now this will almost always draw you a card.
It's yeah, it's really good. This is another card that's one of the better ones that they revealed, I think.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I don't think it's like the game-winning, like uninteractable bull crap,
No, but
but
they
it's
finally
really good.
have they don't have to play coronation ceremony.
Yeah, I
uh,
to the rest of the rares.
oh god, this one.
I like this card.
I love this card. I'm glad that you agree on this. So,
I really like it. The
Furnace.
people. No, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm in agreement. It's weird that other people aren't as into it, but I think
Yeah,
this card's great.
people kept telling me this card is bad and but I think it's just really good.
I think it is too. So let's stop hyping it up. It's a 3-cost 3/4 furnace drone. It's a fire ally guardian automaton. As an
Mm-hmm.
additional cost to activate, you have to banish 3 fire cards and or automaton cards from your graveyard. And is a 3/4 taunt with a class bonus on death, deal 3 to target champion. So this cannot get affected by. I mean, it makes it a little bit harder, but it doesn't get shut down by nullifying lantern, which
It's
is
so good.
incredible. You can. It's just like Overlord of not automaton allies, just automaton cards. This also works on stuff like Manufacture
You're right.
Cell, which is even better because if you're playing this, you're probably playing Manufacture Cell. This makes a really funny Overlord list, if I'm being honest,
Mm-hmm.
especially because of Harvester. You play this and then a Harvester, you're set.
Yeah.
um, the fact that it's a taunt, but it's a 3/4 for 3, which
It's a
is above.
Frostborn Paladin outside of water, which is crazy.
It's better Frost when it's taunt, not even intercept. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And then it does damage back even if you don't swing with it, which is incredible. You don't get the draw, so it's not full that not full explanation on just power creeping Frostborn, but it's still very solid.
It's the counter to Flame Sweep
Oh
or
my god,
Hurricane
you're right.
Sweep. You
Oh my
cannot sweep
god,
into me this because this deals 6 back at you if you sweep into
that's
me.
true. Oh my
It,
god, that's
it is
great.
basically 3/2/3s.
You're not allowed to swing into this with your champion at all.
It's so dumb.
That's really mean. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say. I just think the card's solid. It has good stats. It's got a cool effect. I like the card design, and the artwork is sick. It's
Yeah.
it's Iron Man meets Iron Giant.
It's so cool. Iron Giant, one of my favorite movies of all
I
time.
know.
Copyright
Uh,
strikes immediately.
God, we need to get, we should have gotten Ryan here for this one, but you want to do Accursed Strength?
Okay, Accursed Strength, the worst Diana card to ever exist. Or
That's a
probably
lie.
not, but
There's really bad cards in Diana.
there are really bad cards in Diana, but this is a contender.
I
Two
disagree. Funny
cost
enough.
Umbra, Action Ranger spell. Diana bonus costs one less, so it's a one cost. So one cost at fast speed even. So it's got to be good, right? Draw 3 cards plus X cards, where X the amount of curse cards in your champion's lineage minus your influence. So you have to have no cards. It is like a okay. It's not like the worst card, but you're never playing a 4 of this card. It's never drawing you more than like 1 to 2 cards tops.
I
I just
disagree.
I think this card sucks, in my opinion. I would like to hear what you're saying because
I think very I think
X can
very
be negative.
specifically, it can be, but then you just don't draw any. So my
Yeah.
thought process on this is this goes really good into the Diana that just wants a turbo to 3. In that instance, this card is absolutely amazing. You refill your hand and still have enough to do things on your turn there.
Yes, but after you hit level 3, you have one down usually, and you have to pay for this somehow. So you have 2 influence, no curse cards in your lineage because it's your lineage specifically too. So
Right.
you have to neg yourself previously to try and plus. It will. So I think at most it's a
Except,
draw 2.
I think you forgot Umbra Sight exists.
Yes, but you're dealing a bunch of unpreventable. And Umbrasite does
I
replace
know.
itself plus more if you
I want
want.
this card to be good. It reads a bunch of math. It should be playable. No,
Man wants to
unironically,
make another spreadsheet.
I
Man.
do. I think the card's fine. It goes good into like Umbra, you turbo to 3 Diana. I think that is the only
Yeah.
use case for it though. I don't think the
I,
card is good. I think it has a use as like a 2 of at
I
most
really
of.
don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think that play style is good. It's more of a I'm gonna catch you by surprise because you haven't seen this in like over a year.
Yeah, that's fair. It'll see play. Someone's gonna get got by it at some point.
Yeah. Ooh, you're gonna. I love this card. This upcoming card. You got this one though.
No, no,
I love it though.
you get this one. I got the next one.
Oh yeah, you got it. Okay. Volda Smolder Spite. 2 cost fire, unique ally, cleric, guardian, automaton, more automaton synergy because we needed more. I love it. It is a 1/3 body, so it's got a decent butt. Um, so it has level 2 bonus, fast activation, so it's a blanche, so it has blanche effect. It has class bonus on enter until end of turn. Damage dealt by fire element sources you control can't be prevented.
It's
It
the
is
anti-Blanche.
it is anti-blanche. It is so cool, and it is Varuk Smoldering Spire on a stick that you can play prereq. So it fixes all the issues with Varuk. Sure, you only get it for 1 turn, like Varuk, because you're never gonna pay the upkeep, because you never gonna not materialize really. But it's fast speed, which is really good, and it is just so good. I don't know. I'm lost
Yeah.
for it. The only thing I will
It's
say, I
pretty
am
solid.
very glad they put the fast activation locked behind level 2.
Yeah,
That
so
is
that's the only
very
thing with it is I think the card is good in a vacuum, but the decks that want this effect want it sooner. So this is more of a inevitability, I feel.
so. Thing is, I like that you don't have to play it at fast speed. You can just play it during your turn and then double blazing through your opponent or something if you're
Yeah.
cleric or guardian. But I I I think this card would be way too good if it had fast activation at level 1, but it wouldn't be as impactful as you want if it didn't have fast activation at all.
So
I think this is just a really
there's
good card in general.
there might be a Fire Guardian Automaton list possible. And if that is the case, this stops Resolute Stand.
Yes, it is really good. And with you level up into level 2, get the +3 attack until end turn. Play this prereq, and then you and then you play a huge attack with your champion, and that is a fire element source
It is because you'll have
since
the
you
Fire
are
Spirit in there.
yep. So you're hitting for an insane amount of damage, unpreventable, and you have allies to back it up. I think this is really powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's got a lot of use cases. I feel like this is another card, just like Decompose, where there's kind of has to be a lot talked about it if you want the full explanation. But I think the card is good. Um,
Um, I guess the only other thing I could say is your Searing Rebuke is now unpreventable in Cleric if you go to level. You can no longer
that's
Clarent the Searing Rebuke damage.
that's bad because you can't Searing Rebuke.
You can't deal damage to your own Searing Rebuke, but in response to your opponent's damage, I guess.
I was gonna say because you can't do the damage multiplier of hitting for 9 because of 3 individual pings now.
Wait, you can fast activation in response to the two in response to triggers. So you can let
Oh,
I
I see.
guess
Well,
yeah,
no,
if
well, yeah, you'd have to stack the activations very specifically, but you can
yeah,
get it off.
it's just very hard to get more than 3 damage on preventable.
Getting your local to
It's
get getting your local at a store champ to get that off is going to be a long explanation of saying why they messed it up.
as judges, we have to deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
Very
Let's
funny.
stop talking about this and get to the card I'm excited about. And I just noticed he's got a bunch of chainsaws. I'm calling him Chainsaw Man now.
Yeah, hell yeah, Chainsaw
So
Man.
this is the coolest damn Neos card so far, and this might even change potential cosplay ideas I have because oh my god, he's so cool. This is Hector Praetorian Guard. It is a 3 cost 3/3 unique ally guardian human in Neos. So we have a new Neos unique ally with Imbue 3 on a Neos card. So this is what I was hinting at with the Neos soup list. I have
Yeah.
ideas, and everyone has to suffer for it. Um, it has class bonus on enter. If it's imbued, you get 2 automaton drone tokens. So already out the gate, if you imbue him, he is a 3 cost 3/3 that gets 2 more 1/1 bodies, which is pretty decent. In advanced element, you want to have more impact, but the other effect of class bonus, if damage would be dealt to 1 or more non-token Neos element units you control, prevent X of that damage, where X is the amount of tokens you control. You apply this replacement effect only once per turn. The only downside to this is you don't get to choose when. It will apply to the first instance of damage, which is a little unfortunate. But this is kind of ridiculous, if I'm being honest. And it's one or more units. So if they attempt to use a Polaris, he just says no.
Damn, I can't purge in flames off his entire board of shields.
Yeah, it makes Atmos
So good.
Ares really good. Um, this is going to build an archetype, and it's actually going to be probably playable. Definitely not tiered, I don't think, but it's a playable Neo stack, so I'll take it. And also, just look at that artwork; it's so cool.
Yeah, he's the main character.
He is the main character.
I
I mean,
did
he's
that.
got the ethereal wings. He's got a chainsaw sword, a chain sword. He's got full 40k. There's a chainsaw at the bottom of the damn shield. I mean, what the heck is going on with this? Did you see that? The chainsaw
Yeah, no, I did
shield?
not see it at the bottom of the shield. This guy's sick. Though I will
He-
say, honestly, I don't think you need to imbue this guy at all. I think the
no, you
second
don't.
effect is.
But
I think the second
it's so
effect's
cool.
fine. Just a once per turn protect an ally, and then if you protect him, the next he gets it every other turret. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, if he sticks, which Neos, as explained earlier, has so many ways to make things stick, I think he's gonna be obnoxious.
Hmm.
And it's Neos element units, so you can have that work on yourself as well.
Yeah, your Neos
So
Elemental won't die, guys.
yeah, your Neos elemental. There's so many dumb things you can do with Hector. I think it's hilarious.
And he makes two
Uh,
more drones for your Neos Elemental. Like, he's gas. Come
oh
on,
my god.
guys. Buy
Yeah,
out.
that's about all I have to say on him. I think he's really funny.
I
Yeah.
I wish we called up Jimmy Lee before this if I knew how much glazing of Guardian we were gonna do. Like Jimmy Lee would be so perfect. I just think of him with all these cards since he's been playing it the entire time.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get him in for an interview on this later.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I really hope so. We'll try. We'll push for it. We'll pull some strings. Okay, next card.
I was gonna say I'll let you do this one. This is the last card, and this might actually make Diana playable. Honestly,
Okay, I'll put my 2 cents in after I read the card. Punishing Cartridge, zero cost Umbra bullet. So it's a Regalia item range of bullets. Zero memory cost. So it is a material deck card, but you can get it, which you can't get out with Diana 2. Hard. But has renewable, like all material bullets at the moment. Class bonus tap to load it into a gun, like all bullets at the moment. And and it's a 2 power. So special text on it though, on attack, discard up to 2 cards, and then choose that many options. And it has 2 options. So if you discard 2, you get both options. Change target of this attack to another unit. So get around, taunt, intercept, that type of stuff. And punishing cartridge gains on champion hit that opponent sacrifices an ally. So
really quick,
I
I before
yeah
you give the opinion, I am going to do another kind of rules explanation for the audience. The on attack gets over taunt and intercept in two different ways. The on attack will trigger after you declare the attack target, which will then change the attack to something else. And it works around intercept in a very different way, but still gets around it, where the on attack trigger goes on the stack at the exact same time that intercept goes on the stack. Because most people don't know this because they could just kind of shortcut it, but intercept is a triggered ability that goes on that exact timing as the on attack. So what ends up happening is because you are the active player, yours will go onto the stack first, and then the opponents will go onto the stack afterwards, i.e., their intercept will resolve before the on attack to change the target.
yes. Okay,
Sorry, go
so
ahead.
no, you're fine. That was actually a very good explanation because the people probably do need that because it's very niche and does
we're a
not come
team.
up a lot.
We're a team with four judges. We should explain things.
Yeah, you'd think we'd do that more often. So I don't like this card. So
Interesting.
I think. just you're negging. Actually, technically, this does work well with Accursed Strength that draws cards because you're discarding cards. But I still don't think it. The discard is such a huge penalty to pay for. I don't, and it doesn't really get around a main problem of your gun is still vulnerable. So essentially, there's only one Spell Shroud gun in the game right now. So you'll have a max 2 attacks with this. To materialize this, you either have to play a really bad slow speed card, or you have to materialize it manually. So you're taking a turn off on materializations, and it doesn't get around Tristan.
Doesn't Diana get this out?
No, Diana 2 does not get this out since you do not
Oh,
meet the
that's right. It's the on
requirements.
enter you get the bullet. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
so that's what you're losing a tempo to bring it. You get a different bullet with Diana 2, obviously,
right.
but for this, I think it's a little slow, as well as it's a lot of downside for quite a bit of upside, but you're still very interactable as a champion and very linear as a champion. This doesn't really get
So
around a lot of what you want.
I have to double check this with you, but I want you to tell me what you think the on attack timing is. Do you discard the cards as cost for the effect, or is the discarding? Ha- Basically, I want you to tell me this: when is the
Uh,
discard happening, and when is
uh,
the effect resolving?
the discard is happening as you resolve it. I believe his on attacks is a triggered ability that doesn't have cost. That to my knowledge, does not really have costs with
Okay,
it
so the on
yet.
attack trigger will happen, and then
You're
you will basically, upon resolution, you can then discard up to two and then choose what you need.
yes,
So that's what I wanted to double check because that's what makes me think this card is a lot better than it is because you don't have to discard two cards. But if you
yeah,
do, if you want to discard one card because here's the thing, the opponent is always going to assume that you will be able to change the attack target. So blocking is not even relevant here. At most, you force them to if your opponent has one
I
card they're attacking with this, I think that's the only situation. Um,
I think
but
otherwise you always block. No matter what, you will. Oh, an experienced player in this game will always block this, no matter what, just to force resources out of you. Because if they can resource drain you, you're slowly getting whittled out of the game,
So I
in my
agree,
opinion.
but this also is very interesting because on champion hit means you are doubling the triggers with Shadow's Twin. So this becomes if you discard one
Yes.
card and let's just say they don't have a blocker, then they are sacking two allies at once. And at that point, you probably have just won.
Really depends on the type of deck you're playing against and if you can get there. This would be good into an ally's deck, but can you get there against an ally's deck without them Zephyring your gun, Zephyring Shadow's Twin, Fractionizing Shadow's Twin? Fire, I don't even think you can get there without at the speed you want.
That's fair.
And again, taking another turn up, either putting in a really bad play set of cards
So then
or
I will adjust my opinion to crazy
mm,
good card in a bad deck.
probably similar to that. It's good. It's just such a bad deck. Rye is gonna kill us after we shame all of his Diana cards all day. I can't
That's
wait
fine
for him
with
to
me.
prove us wrong at Worlds. I really hope he does, but I just don't think any of these Diana cards are all that great in doing what Diana just needs a different play style, in my opinion.
Man, I wonder if Diana's gonna have a new playstyle in GTR. Crazy.
Yeah, I wonder.
They've given up on Umbra.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I think that about does it for this video. We have every card covered. Go ahead and write in the comments if there's anything that you agree with or disagree with our takes in here. I know you probably disagree with basically everything I say, and that's okay with me. Um, if you just want to go ahead and give us a like if you
yeah.
liked it, subscribe. It really helps. We are currently at 17 subscribers, which is excellent. I'm very happy with the support we've gotten from the Grand Archive community. I love every comment we get. I check pretty regularly to see and I'll attempt to reply back to every comment I get. If you want to comment on anything about the new set, anything you're excited about too, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
You have any?
Um,
Do you have
all I want
any final takes to say, Kyle?
all I want to say is we're looking at these cards very in a meta relevant area. Please have fun with all these cards. I think these cards are really fun for what they are, and they're doing a lot. We hype these up a lot. And Jimmy
I
Lee, hit
fully
me
agree.
up. We need to do a Tony Masterclass.
We do, and
uh,
I need to fully disregard it and play 40 Neos Hector.
yeah. And I'm sorry to all Diana players. I'm gonna keep dissing your champion.
Sorry. Okay, bye.
Bye.